Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, may I present to you the following for your entertainment today. A 4K transfer of an anime film classic done right. That's right, folks, for today's video, we're talking about Ghost in the Shell on 4K Blu-ray. I'm not gonna lie, as soon as I heard the announcement that this was a thing, I about just lost my mind. The fact that this is my favorite film pretty much ever made, I was just like, please, for the love of God, do not screw this up. Luckily, the folks at Lionsgate actually pulled this off to such a degree that I almost want to kiss the hands of everyone who made this thing possible. Now, before I start to lose my mind and go complete fanboy over this film, which I will admit I will do probably during the course of this review, let me just make this clear. I am not reviewing the film itself. That is a video for another day, and probably one where I will go ad nauseum and probably lose my mind over that just as much. I am simply talking about the video and audio quality of the film itself. That's it. Not here to review the plot, not here to review the characters or the themes or anything like that. Just the audio and the visual quality of the presentation that Lionsgate gave us. Now, before I start losing my mind over this film, let's just go ahead and get some of the technical specs out of the way first. This is a native 4K transfer, meaning it is in 2160p, and it is also maintaining its original aspect film ratio of 1.58 by 1, meaning it's going to fill up your entire screen, and I gotta tell you, it's glorious. Now, along with maintaining original aspect ratio of the film itself, we also get a Dolby Atmos track for both the Japanese and English audio dubs, as well as a 5.1 and a 7.1 surround sound track for both the English and the Japanese audio, as well as we even get English subtitles and Spanish subtitles with this release. So kudos for Lionsgate for actually giving us kind of a thorough, comprehensive list for this one. I'm honestly very impressed. I wasn't even expecting Spanish subtitles with this one. Unfortunately, the 2K Blu-ray version of this is locked to region A. However, the 4K version of this is actually region free. So if you have a 4K Blu-ray player, you don't have to worry about wherever you're from in the world. You can literally just pop this release into your player and it'll work just fine. Now, if it wasn't clearly obvious from my intro and me gushing over this thing right before we get to the meat of this whole thing, you can tell I freaking love this release. I'm probably not exaggerating when I say this, it felt like I was watching Ghost in the Shell for the very first time again, and I didn't think I'd ever be able to experience that feeling. Seriously, this is hands down the best release I have ever seen of this film. I've bought pretty much every single release of Ghost in the Shell since I first was exposed to the film. I've bought the 2.0 release, I've bought one of the transfers from Japan, I've got the DVD version of the film, I've pretty much bought every single anniversary edition that's come out since, and ever since then, it's like every one of them was good, but they were just okay. There are some portions of the film where I will admit I love the look of the film. I really do. But there are some points where I felt like they just rubbed Vaseline on the lens and it was kind of like it was blurry. You couldn't quite make it out, and some of the colors felt muted. In here, with the high dynamic range and the Dolby Vision visuals that they give for this thing, holy crap, the colors pop out like crazy. And it makes me so happy to see that Ghost in the Shell, a movie that generally has a lot of nighttime scenes or ones where there's a little bit of drab settings, there's actually some vibrancy and color to this. It makes everything really just pop off the screen, and it just makes it look so gorgeous. If there was any one thing that could probably outdo the visuals and the picture transfer of the film itself, it's probably the audio itself, because my lord, this thing kills it in terms of audio. If you got a good stereo surround system or a good pair of headphones, listen to this thing. I've never heard the sound effects, the bullets, the dialogue, or any of the music in this movie sound as good as I did on this version of the movie right here. This will probably be my definitive way of watching the film outside of somehow getting like the original film reel or something like that, even if that exists somewhere. For example, the marketplace scene in which Bateau and the Major are traversing and trying to hunt down one of the goons of the Puppet Master, trying to figure out where he's hiding and kind of pick out his thermoptic camouflage, and there's a point where Major is standing up on top of the roof and you hear the machine gun fire just go like that. I heard every single bullet and I was literally lurched back in my couch. and thinking to myself, holy crap, they really went the extra mile to really give that audio some extra punch, and I love it for that. Every single bullet flying across the screen, every single bit of dialogue, everything just sounds wonderful. Believe me, folks, I watched this thing like a hawk. I sat through this twice just so that way I could be really sure about my thoughts on this, and I was like, oh, this thing pretty much nails it right on the head. And on top of that, the special features are actually pretty cool too. In fact, I'll list them out for you right now. We got ourselves on disc 1, we're the 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray. This comes with an audio commentary, accessing Section 9, 25 years into the future track. We get a Landscapes and Dreams, aka the art and architecture of Ghost in the Shell, which I will admit it was actually pretty cool to see. And on disc 2, where the regular Blu-ray, we get the making of Ghost in the Shell, and we also get the original theatrical trailer. So there was actually some decent amount of special features on here. I will admit, I would have liked to see like cast interviews or maybe a Ghost in the Shell retrospective or something like that to see how this film has influenced so many other classic films in the last 25 years since its release. But to be perfectly honest, I'm just happy to have the film done justice. Lionsgate, I'm just gonna say this right now, you blew my expectations out of the water with this release, and I was already hyped enough as it is. This right here is going to be my way of watching Ghost in the Shell, and I would say this is extremely recommended. In fact, I will use my old rating system of saying it is worth every penny of it. So there you go, folks. That is my review of the Ghost in the Shell 4K Blu-ray. I hope that at least was a comprehensive look in terms of the video technical specs, as the audio quality, the video quality, and everything else, as well as the special features as what came on the release itself. And I'm just relieved that my favorite film has a transfer that finally does it justice. Before I forget to mention this, I also want you guys to have a chance to enjoy the film as well. So in terms of that, I'm going to be raffling off the digital copy version of this release of Ghost in the Shell to one of you guys, so that way you can enjoy the film as well in your own free time and you don't have to worry about going out buying your own copy. With that in mind, if you want to participate, just either leave a like or comment below, just let me know. I would be happy to bring you in and you will be entered into the contest, as well as following on other social media platforms. The more you try to do that and more you try to follow, the higher your chances of will be to get involved with this raffle. And after 1 week, I will then post in the video as to who won the raffle for the Ghost in the Shell copy, and then I will message that person so that way they can get the copy and make sure it's all properly done. Either way, folks, I hope you enjoyed this little dive through Ghost in the Shell on 4K. If you guys want to see more content like this in the future, please let me know in the comments below in terms of what other anime films you want me to cover in terms of Blu-rays or in terms of 4K content, just so that way I can let you know in terms of what transfers are done well or which ones are maybe worth avoiding, just so that way you don't have to worry about wasting your money on something that's not of good quality. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. I wish you the best of luck in the raffle, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time. Until then, take care.